Next on the line is somebody that you know really, really good. I really don't need to introduce him, but you know him, you've seen him, he believes in combat. Hello, AMBAZONIA! Blood by! I leave him. Blood by! Put your hands together and welcome Comrade Ayana, please. AMBAZONIA! Somebody that you know really, really good. I really don't need to introduce him, but you know him, you've seen him, he believes in combat. Hello, AMBAZONIA! Blood by! I leave him. Blood by! Put your hands together and welcome Comrade Ayana, please.
Block by block, rooftop by rooftop, my fellow Ambazonians, sons and daughters of the Ambazonian Revolution. It is not time to celebrate. This is war. It is not time to celebrate. They robbed you of your homeland. They took away your hope. They robbed you of the right to dream of a future in the country of your birth. They murdered your citizens. They transform your brain to think like a Cameroonian, to worship their flag, to sing their anthem, to pray, hope, and dream like a Cameroonian. They took away the land of your birth. They demonized you. They robbed you of hope, of a dream of a future that is better than the one you inherited. They killed your parents, turned your fathers into boys, raped your mom, made your sisters to be ashamed, robbed them in more. They sent you into exile. You lost your neighborhood. They dispersed your friends. You became delinquent in a land that you did not understand. They took away something so essential to your own existence that you live here with your body, but your spirit hovers without knowing where to land. They took away from us something so important that life became something we have rejected in this land. They took away from you a country that gave you hope, built the first democratic system where there was an electoral didn't change. They took away from you your economic system. They blockade your social system. They crumbled your economy so you could go into their own system to work for them. They made you drive through their own system so you could pay toll gate into their own system. They robbed you of your right to think, to hope, to have a future in the country of your birth. 243 years ago, the Americans told the British that their time of independence was now. They fought for 8 years, 4 months, and 15 days. They lost the Battle of Boston, but they won the war for the freedom of the United States. The South Africans face a nuclear power. They face a nuclear power country. Mandela said he is going to die for his people. He struggled in jail for 27 years because he didn't want to bequeath to the next generation something worse than he had inherited. He fought like a valiant soldier. The Eritreans humbled the Ethiopians, a more powerful Ethiopia supported by Libya and Russia. They fought in trenches, in gutter holes, on rooftop to be able to bequeath to the next generation something better. Your freedom is in your hands. It is going to be fought inch by inch, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, rooftop by rooftop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There you go.
Your freedom is in your hands. It is not going to be given to you on a platter of gold. I can assure you here from Washington, the land of our birth, the towns of AMBAZONIA will be liberated by the valiant soldiers who on a daily basis lay their lives, give their blood, deprive themselves of something more precious to make sure they can stand for our girls, for our children, for our mothers, for our fathers, to bequeath to the next generation a better country that they inherited.
Fellow Ambazonians, good evening to you all, the great and good people of Ambazonia. To win the war against Cameroon occupation of our people and our territory, it is time for us to change tactics. To end the tyranny and terrorism on Ambazonian children, on Ambazonian mothers, on our fathers, on our communities. To end the pain and the suffering imposed and inflicted on the Ambazonian people. It is time for the Ambazonian people and Ambazonian forces to change tactics. Upon the review of our strategy, the Ambazonia Governing Council, the leader of the Ambazonian people, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, is informing and instructing all Ambazonian forces to focus on the primary target. Cameroon's presence in the territory, the occupation forces are in the territory for two reasons: to protect colonial administrators and occupation institutions. The colonial administrators are the primary reason Cameroon has built a large military, paramilitary and security forces sent to Ambazonia. The colonial councillors that have imposed themselves as enablers, the colonial mayors, the colonial DOs, the SDOs, the colonial delegates and sub-delegates are the primary target going forward. Those are the people responsible for the burnings of our communities, the killings of Ambazonian children, the raping of Ambazonian mothers. The Cameroon military and security forces are in Ambazonia to protect these enablers. That's the primary target. To win the war fast, to end the occupation fast, to liberate the land fast, to give our people the freedom and the independence they need fast. We must change tactics and focus on the primary target. There is no joy for the wicked. Those responsible for the enslavement of our people must be the focus of this resistance. Without slave trades, without slave traders, there will be no slave trades. Without the slave masters, there will be no slave trades. And so too is Cameroon occupation in Ambazonia. Without the colonial administrators, the impostors and the enablers, there will be no Cameroon occupation in Ambazonia. Without Cameroon colonial institutions and institutions of occupation, there will be no Cameroon occupation in Ambazonia. We must change tactics and focus on the primary target. If you have a brother, a sister, an uncle, or an aunt, that's a counselor, that's a Cameroon occupation colonial counselor in Ambazonia, tell them to leave the Ambazonia territory now. If you have an uncle, or an aunt, or a godfather, that is a Cameroon occupational colonial mayor in Ambazonia, tell them to leave the Ambazonia territory now. The war is now focused on them. They are the primary target. They are the reasons our people are being killed. They are the reason Ambazonia has become slaves for Cameroon. They are the reason we are living in servitude. They are the reason we are facing tyranny. They are the reason our people are going through Cameroon terrorism tactics. They are the reason our communities are being burned down, just so that they can keep them as colonial administrators. Watch this video and it will tell you what the real enemy is and who the real enemy is.
Manu, no ve. A ver aquí. Manu. Manu, man, no be. Abekin. Ouais, Manu.
You're welcome. In the center. In the center.
Are you together?
The video you have just watched is a demonstration to you. It's a proof to you who the primary enemy is and what the target has to be. Without the Cameroon colonial administrators, without the occupation administrators, there will be no Cameroon's occupation in Ambazonia. To win the war faster, to liberate the people quicker, the Ambazonian people and all Ambazonian forces are hereby instructed by the Governing Council of Ambazonia to take the war to the primary targets, the colonial administrative authorities. That's the primary target. You get rid of them, the occupation crumbles. You get rid of them, the occupation ends. The colonial councillors, the impostors, the colonial occupation councillors, the colonial occupation mayors, the colonial occupation DOs and SDOs, the colonial occupation delegates and sub-delegates, the colonial parliamentarians and senators. Those are your real enemies. They may be your family members, recruited by Paul Biya, recruited by the CPDM fascist party. They may be your family members. They may be your friends. They may be your uncles. But they are the people keeping you in chains. They are the ones keeping Ambazonia hostage. They are the ones that have captured your destiny. They are the one responsible for your pain, your suffering, and your poverty. It's not Paul Biya. They are the primary instruments being used by Yaoundé to give Cameroon some form of legitimacy in Ambazonia. As a smart people, as a determined people, we must muster the courage to go after the primary enemy. For us to be free, we must do this. Fighting the military takes a lot of resources, a lot of energy, and it will take a very long time. Going after the primary targets will render the occupation useless. Dismantling colonial institutions is what will end Cameroon's occupation in Ambazonia in a relatively short period of time. We can do this as a people. We must be focused. We must be disciplined in our actions. That's why it's important for leadership to define and name the primary target. Based on the review of our strategy, we are reorienting our policy and our actions. This is a must. When the United States decided to end the Ba'athist party of Saddam Hussein and the reign of terror in Iraq, why they deployed their military, but the primary responsibility of that military was to capture and kill the top leadership of the Ba'ath Party in order to crumble the regime of Saddam Hussein. And that's what they did. Learn from these examples. Learn from such examples. We must go after the key officials of the colonial occupation administrative government. We must go after the CPDM fascist impostors in our land. Once you eliminate the infrastructures of the occupation crumbles. The military is there to protect the colonial agents, the colonial impostors, and the occupation infrastructures and institutions. Eliminate those, the occupation comes to an end. I know some people will say, but why are Ambazonian going after soft target? No, it's not soft target. That's the real target. That's the real target. The military is a secondary target because the only reason the military is there, it is to protect these colonial impostors. Over the last 7 years, the Ambazonian people have not elected anyone to represent them anywhere, not to talk of representing them in the colonial occupational parliament or system of governance. They are impostors. They are there to carry out the functions and duty of colonialism, which is a crime against humanity, according to the United Nations. Cameroon's presence in Ambazonia is illegal, and anyone imposing themselves as a councillor, a mayor, a DO, SDO, as a governor, as a delegate or subdelegate, as a parliamentarian or senator, they are doing so at their own risk. Our people have not elected anyone to represent them. If you're a councillor, a mayor, a delegate, a subdelegate, a DO, SDO, leave Ambazonia now before you are targeted. This is the message. This is the focus. Ambazonia must be free by all means necessary